Pete, we're just over a day on from lifting this trophy. How's it feeling now?
It feels great. I mean, it always does. I mean, it's great on the moment of victory. You see the sort of relief and joy of everybody at the time. A bit strange because there were no fans there, which was obviously disappointing. I think for us, we'd love to have friends, families, and all the supporters there. But yeah, the day after, I like the day after, if I'm honest, because you sort of wake up with a bit of a hangover, maybe, but also with that lovely feeling that all that effort, all that hard work everybody's put in, and they've got over the line, and we won a trophy.
Have you had time today to sort of take in the messages from afar? As you say, nobody there at Edgbaston to see it yesterday, but messages of goodwill coming in their hundreds and thousands.
Yeah, not really in some ways. I think the first thing you do is you get back and you reconnect with your close family and stuff like that and whatever, and then you start to get those lovely messages coming in, and often some people you haven't spoken to for a while, you reconnections with people and stuff like that. It's great.
In terms of the games yesterday, what did you think of the mentality? It was a very sort of aggressive mentality with the bat to finish both games nice and early.
Which is how we played all season, and we went there with a sort of promise to ourselves. We'd had a tough game against Leicester here in the quarter-final, which we just got over the line. So I think that game was enough for us for two things. One, that we'd play the moment in front of us, so we wouldn't get to think too far ahead, because I think maybe in that Leicester game we played so well in the first 10 overs that game. I think we thought we'd already put a foot in the final, and Leicester came back at us really well. Was to basically just play what was there and play our style. Our style is a powerhouse batting lineup. You know, we go hard at it. We look to dominate bowling attacks to do that, and then bowling wise to execute our skill at key times, which is often the front and the back of the game in the T20. And I thought on the day, the way Jake Ball, Dan Christian bowled in the last 4 overs of that final was an absolute key part of us getting nowhere to win the trophy.
And what does it say about the sort of character or the mentality of the team to have wrested those games back sometimes? Surrey sort of getting away at sometimes and wickets falling early in the final as well, but then to turn that round.
Yeah, the Surrey game was I think the partnership between Jason Roy and Laurie Evans, I think was a real testament to how good a side and how well we played, because they put 100 on. They both played really, really well. And we were under pressure, a lot of pressure. The fielding then stood up to it. The way we bowled at the end, we stuck to very, very clear plans, and we got the key wicket. You know, Laurie first, I think, and then Jason pretty quickly after, and that really then opened it up for us to bowl tightly. And I don't think we conceded a boundary last 4 overs, which was, I'd say, was a big momentum switch in the game that we then. You know, we wanted to take into our batting. We lost a couple early, but because of our depth, I think nobody panicked, and then we built a partnership between, you know, Pete Trigo coming in for his first game, really, what a time to come in, with Ben Duckett, and I was so pleased for Ben, the way Ben played, because he'd been through a really tough one last year. You know, we lost a tight game in the semi. That dressing room was a hard place to be last year. We were so disappointed that we hadn't managed to get over the line. And Ben was at the heart because he was at the crease at the time. So for him to be there in the winning moment, I think was really special.
You say nobody panics, but what were the emotions and the mood like in the dressing room as that chase unfolded?
Well, I'm in the dugout actually. So you know, we have a bit of a standing joke. Me and Joe Clark, he's number 3. So we always end up starting there, and the lads filter down, and the rest stay in the dressing room. So you have this sort of split when you're batting. When we were fielding, I got Mona. I had Fletch next to me, and Fletch is not the best watcher, that is for sure. But in the dugout, actually, it was calm. It was pretty calm. I think the lads we lost those 2 early wickets. We knew the pitch was difficult up front. It spun a bit and it seemed. But we thought, you know, we'd build a partnership somewhere. We still had, when Pete went in there, we still had Dan Christian, Tom Moores, Imad Wasim. We still had Steve Mullaney. We had quite a lot of batting still in the pavilion. So we were confident that we got 2 people in, and we built a partnership, we'd have a great chance of getting over the line.
What can winning a trophy do for this side as it starts to come together?
Well, it gives confidence. You know, I think it's a reward not just for the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks of this trophy. I think the whole season, the winter we put in, the lads have worked really hard, as they should. But we're fitter, and I think we've learned better ways of being committed as a group. We brought a lot of players in because we'd lost players and some younger players coming through our own system, and merging them together into a team, I think in red ball and in white ball, has been key, and that momentum's gone all the way through the season. So to get over the line and win a trophy, it just shows you can do it. You can get there, and you know, and that at the end of the day is, you know, some of these lads, they won it in 17 as well. So quite a lot of that team have been there twice, won it twice. And that, you know, there's enough mileage left in that team. A lot of young players still in that team who can play for Notts in this format of the game for a long time.
And what does it do for the team as we now start to turn our attention, start to look forward? What can it do for them heading into next year?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to have your break and stuff like that. And that's the first thing. I mean, it's when you come back, we'll come back to train, it just gives you a spring in the step, knowing that all the hard work you put in, it rewards you. And the connection you want everybody to make is that hard work, it does pay off. Not always straight away. Sometimes you've got to wait, you be patient. You know, all sport can be a bit like that. It can make you have to test you, so you have to do all that work, and suddenly it doesn't give you anything back. But if you keep doing it, eventually you get your rewards. And we saw that, I think, all the way through the season, at different times with different players. And this T20 campaign, it's had so many different players perform at different times. You know, some of the batters down the order, someone like Samit Patel hadn't batted much in the quarter-final, was the man that got us over the line. Pete Trigo's first game. And we've seen that sort of Joe Clark sort of powerhouse, that batting at the start of the innings for us. And then, you know, your Tom Morses, your Ben Duckett, your Dan Christians in the middle, cement it in the batting order. And bowling-wise, Jake Ball's come right back to us, you know, to be the leading wicket-taker in the competition, and backed up by a lot of pace-off bowling with, you know, quality pace-off bowling, Imad Wasim, Steve Mullaney, Samit Patel, Matt Carter, and that's formed a really nice-looking team, and we played some good cricket.